Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. Today's yoga class we're going to be focusing specifically on strengthening. I've got some great, gentle, effective exercises for improving your body's strength. What you need for our class today is a blanket or pillow to put under your head when you're laying on your side, and also for under your knees when we're on hands and knees. If you're on carpet, you probably don't need a cushion for under your knees. All right, let's get started. We're gonna lay on our backs first for butterfly. Your feet are under your knees and your arms are just relaxed out to your side. Keeping your feet right where they are, you're gonna just drop your knees out to the side. This exercise is called butterfly and it helps build strength in the inner thighs. We're going to very slowly bring our knees together. So we're going to take 3 breath cycles to bring the knees together. While you're doing this, you're keeping your upper body super relaxed and your breath flowing. That's 1. We're going to do 5 more. On the way down, it's still slow, but it's a little faster than on the way up. So take your time. See how my legs are shaking a little bit? That's normal. The slower you go, the more shaking you might discover. That's a very good thing. It means you're loosening tension in your hips as well. Notice if you're tensing up in your feet or your hands or your jaw. Just want to keep the whole upper body relaxed. I think we've got 2 more. Last one. Okay, great. Now we're going to strengthen the hip rotators. You're going to bring your right knee right over your right hip. And you're going to move your lower leg and your foot back and forth. Notice when you do this, your thigh is rolling. You don't want your thigh or knee to move back and forth. Focusing on just moving the shin, lower leg, and foot back and forth. And what you should be feeling is something happening in your inner thighs. Or sorry, not your inner thighs, your hips, your hip rotator. Well, maybe your thighs a little bit, right in the groin area. But basically, you should be feeling it here. It's not in your foot. Okay, now we're going to switch to the other side. Remember to breathe and go super slow. Strengthening the muscles of your hip rotators. If you hear those noises in the background, those are my guinea pigs. So funny. All right, that's great. All right, I think that's enough. I was going to do 2 on each side, but I think that'll do it for today. All right, the next thing we're going to do is called the floor punch for building strength in the shoulders. All right, so putting a cushion under your knees, you're going to find your wrists right under your shoulders, knees right under your hips, a nice flat back. And just take a minute to find that flat back. Sometimes we start with our heads down. Just take a moment to bring your head in line with your spine and to find a neutral spine. Sometimes the spine either wants to sag or it wants to hang up here. So try to find the middle. And now in floor punch, it looks like this. So I'm gonna punch the floor away from me, pushing. As you do that, you feel the shoulder blades coming away from your spine. And then if you kind of let go of the punch, your chest sags down. And the whole action is happening in the shoulder joint. You don't want to move from the back. A lot of times people do this and they do it a little bit, but they mostly do the back. And you want to actually just have your spine stay neutral. So we're working the punching muscles of the shoulder, the serratus anterior. And you're gonna do this about 10 times, nice and slow. Feel those shoulder blades as they move together and away from each other. Remember your breathing. Remember your neutral spine. Okay, great. Now we're going to do kneeling plank. So you're going to take your hands and bring them forward about 1 hand's width. All right, and then you're going to keep pushing the floor away from you, just like before. You don't want to be sagging into your shoulders. You want to push the ground away from you and feel a lot of strength and stability in your shoulders. And then you're going to bring your hips forward, putting more weight on the wrists and hands, and just hold there. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. 8, 9, 10. And then we're going to push back, push the floor away from you to push back. And then we're going to come forward, spreading your fingers wide, dropping the hips until you feel your abdominals engage, pushing the floor away from you. We'll hold for 10 seconds. And then pull back. All right, one last time. Coming forward, holding, gently pushing the floor away from you, feeling the strength in the shoulders, feeling the abdominals. And now pulling back. All right, let's just take a little break in child's pose. All right, now we're going to do some strengthening for the core and legs. So now you're coming back into tabletop. We're going to take our left leg out behind us, putting it on the floor. And we're getting ready to lift the leg. This activates the glute muscle. So you're going to slowly lift your leg off the floor, bringing it parallel with the floor. And just holding this is a lot of work. Let's hold for 10 seconds. Okay, and now you're going to bend your knee and come into a 90-degree position. We're going to do 5 of those to strengthen the hamstrings. Okay, and now bring the knee down. Whew. All right, let's do it on the other side. Placing your toes of your right foot on the floor, strong shoulders and upper body, lifting the leg parallel with the floor. Draw the toes towards your face, and we're going to hold this for 10. All right, and now bending the knee to 90 degrees, we'll do 5 of those. Remember your breath. All right, we're going to do another set of those on either side. All right. And now 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, other side. Holding for 10. All right, now 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Next, we're going to come into our sideline kicks. So you need that blanket or pillow for putting under your head when you lay on your side. Okay, make sure your hips are stacked. That's really important. And that your shoulders are stacked too. You don't want your chest to be out like this. So you might even want to tuck your shoulder underneath you so you feel like your top shoulder is right over your bottom one. Okay, relax in your upper body. Then you're going to take the top leg and extend it straight down. So when you look down, it's straight under your hip. And you don't want that hip to be falling back. It's a different musculature that you would be working if you did that. So just hold here and breathe for a moment. We're working the abductors, your glute medius. So you're gonna hold right there and breathe. All right, now we're gonna sweep the foot forward about an inch and bring it back 2 or 3 inches. So you're just moving the thigh bone in the hip socket. You don't want your back to be moving. Sometimes people do this. The upper body is very stable. That's one way of actually building the core strength, is by keeping the back stable while the hip is moving. Because your core has to stabilize when you do that. And you want to try to keep your foot parallel with the floor. If it wants to dip down, then you have an opportunity to make more strength in your hip by keeping the foot parallel with the floor. All right, I don't know about you, but I think we're done on that side. Okay, come on up and we'll do it on the other side. Now, I'm doing just a little bit of each thing, and if you feel like you need more of what we're doing, if you want to strengthen more, you could just run through this video again, doing everything over again for another set or a couple of sets. All right, we're going to extend the leg out. Bring it straight down from our hip and hold. And then if you sweep the foot about an inch forward, a couple inches forward, and a couple inches back, you just want to feel that thigh bone moving in the hip socket. Focus on your hip joint. Stay connected, noticing what you feel. Breathing, keeping the upper body as relaxed as you can. Okay, and then bring the knees together. All right, last but not least, we are coming up onto our elbow for side plank. In side plank, you want to first make sure that your elbow is right under your shoulder, right? A lot of times people are here or way out here, so you want to make sure, feel supported right under your shoulder. Then your knees and hands pretty much line up with each other. All right, and we all tend to want to sag down like this, but you're going to push your elbow into the floor and pull your ribs in for a nice abdominal strengthening exercise, as well as strengthening all the muscles of your neck and shoulders. And just hold here. If this hurts or doesn't feel right, which it can for a lot of people, you just want to sit this one out. Yeah, that's all. If you wanted to add more strength, you could lift the butt up off the ground, but that's higher level. That's after you feel sufficiently strong here in this position. Now we're just going to take a break, relax, take it easy, and then come back up into the position. The other tricky thing here is that the head might have a tendency to want to come up or down, and try to keep it in line. Try to keep your head in line with your neck and spine, which I'm always wondering if I'm doing that right, to be perfectly honest. All right, so just holding and breathing. Okay, and then come on up. All right, let's switch and do it on the other side. Setting yourself up, hands and knees are in line with each other, elbows right under your shoulder, and you're getting your ribs pulled in and holding yourself. This one I think is surprisingly difficult, but it just depends on your body. If you have a lot of neck and shoulder things, then this one can feel very challenging. If you find plank to be easy, but you find this one to be hard, it just means that you have more imbalances from left side to right side of the body than you do front to back, you know, so just something to notice. Okay, let's take it easy. And then we come up onto our elbow again, holding the position. And sometimes I notice people want to round forward for this, so try to bring your heart up a little bit. Well, if it's already up, then you don't need to, but if you're kind of sagging down, you might want to focus on drawing your shoulder back a little bit. That's why sometimes I have people lift their arm like this. Okay, I think we've been here about the same amount of time, so that's all. That's all for our little strengthening class today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming. Namaste.